I know many of you have traveled far and wide to share in the celebration. Nadia's grandfather and Mark's grandfather, both here via FaceTime. And I know I can speak on behalf of Nadia and Mark when I say they appreciate it very much, as well as all of you. For those of you I haven't met yet, hi, I'm Kristen, Mark's slightly older and wiser sister. I think I have to believe the latter in order to justify being newly ordained by the power of the internet. Regardless, I'm deeply humbled that Nadia and Mark asked me to officiate their wedding, and honored to be leading us through this special moment in time. It's hard not to acknowledge the feeling of something greater than ourselves, taking place right here, right now. Before we move ahead with anything else, let's take a moment to appreciate this feeling. A pause for a few seconds to ground ourselves in the present, acknowledge those who aren't with us today, and remember those who are always with us in our hearts, if not in person. Time is a curious thing, isn't it? A relative thing. There are moments when it's relativity, when your skewed human perception of it becomes glaringly obvious. There are moments where you've somehow been here before as your former self, where you feel like you've arrived back at the beginning, where the past is just a whisper of the present. As at the moment I climbed up the rungs of Mark's bookshelf to grab a favorite story of his to read by flashlight under afforded blankets until we laughed so hard that our parents heard and sent us back to sleep is happening all over again. Except this time, the grand story I'm telling is his own, and the adventure I'm about to describe is the one he and Nadia are embarking on. And that's what this is. It's an adventure. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The thing about adventures is they're never static and rarely predictable. The adventure will seem mundane at times, chores and flights booked, planning, checking and schlepping and moving as if by rote through hellos and goodbyes, through our little assertions of control over the vast unknown. But it's an illusion. Your perception of it is a choice. There's a parable from one of Mark's favorite storytellers that goes like this. There are these two young fish swimming along, and they happen to meet an older fish swimming the other way, who nods at them and says, "Morning, boys, how's the water?" And the two young fish swim on for a bit, and then eventually one of them looks over at the other and goes, "What the hell's water?" Now, reasonably, some of you may be distracted by the fact that I just said hell at a wedding. But this little parable is about much more than that. And its author, the inimitable David Foster Wallace, put it, it's about much more than becoming a wise old fish. It's about our tendency to become so caught up in the current of things that we don't see what's around us. And we miss that which is most significant. He concludes the most obvious, ubiquitous, important realities are often the ones that are the hardest to see and talk about. It's about the simple awareness of what is so real and essential, so hidden in plain sight and all around us, that we have to keep reminding ourselves over and over, this is water. This is water.